But of course, the vast yeah, it takes them all the money. And I'm not big grow. I was there when you showed me. Yeah. Boy, it was. I put that about where because it wasn't too bad. I believe it. Absolutely fine.
I know where.
I finally got it. Yeah. So we got, that's the solution. We spent about 5 hours on.
Yeah, we had. Well, I'm proud.
After all that, 2 hours later.
Are good for the book, baby brothers.
Yeah. The next one.
I want to check on those riddles. Thank you.
Fine, nothing's been like.
I'm here to tell y'all, this is my feather in my cap. They're not proud. We'll eat anybody. United. Not this United, guys, which one?
Yeah, I love. Came out. Yeah.
All right, Mayor, we're ready.
Was her.
Okay, we're back in open session, have been for a few minutes. We went into executive session, no action was taken. And we're going to move on to Dr. Brazier is going to give his city administrator report.
Okay, all this is in your package, so I'm not going to go over it, and the mayor hit a lot of this already. But again, getting questions about your administrative report. And just to let the council know that only position we have open still is one position in the electric department. So John has been doing some making some calls and has supposed to be setting up some interviews, and he's supposed to let me know if there's a viable candidate there who that person is soon. If not, we'll continue to search. Salt Florida, 110 members. Financial report, it's in your packet. Things really picked up, obviously, because of this hot weather. So at the time of this report, we were $369,000 in the black. And so that puts us in a really good position for the end of this fiscal year to again, be in the black and maintain a balance. So I was really excited about that. And dates, I'm not real the dates because the mayor's going to as well. However, again, I would encourage everyone to come by and see and visit Ms. Torres and give her the respects as well. And then again, I appreciate the council stepping up and volunteering and for the haunted Halloween. It is a big event, and I think it's growing and get bigger every year. So your presence is important, and your help is appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brazier. At this time, we've got a presentation from Mr. John Martin with Atmos Energy concerning Resolution 1550. Thank you for coming here tonight.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name again is Sean Martin, Manager of Public Affairs with Atmos Energy, Office 1101 North Arnold Boulevard in Abilene. And first, again, Conchita, congratulations. It's hard to believe that 9 years ago, my son was 18 when we first met, and now, or he was 9 then when we first met, and now he's 18. And that's fine. But congratulations to you for all your support over the years. Again, Council, I'm here this evening to discuss a resolution that is part of the consent agenda as it currently sits to approve new rates based on a rate review mechanism for RRM. That's if you see RRM, that's what that stands for, rate review mechanism. Back in spring of 2018, the council and the city approved a new RRM tariff, which allows us to adjust our rates on an annual basis to recover the investments made in our gas delivery system. Based on the agreement, Atmos Energy filed to increase rates for the RRM this past April. The initial filing would have increased the average residential customer's bill by $7.41 per month, and the average commercial customer's bill by $27.71 per month. Following the filing, we negotiated with the Atlas City Steering Coalition, which the city is now a member of, which y'all voted on back in July, I believe. So you guys are part of that coalition with 181 other cities. And we finalized our rate through negotiation and settled on that rate. So together with the coalition, we've agreed upon a rate structure that will increase the average residential customer's bill by about $6.47 per month, and the average commercial customer's bill by about $24.72 per month. Again, the ACSC coalition, which the city is a part of, has recommended that the city approve this item. And so I'll be happy to answer those questions if you have them. And then I want to bring your attention to the sheet that was passed out to you, just to kind of give you a snapshot of our infrastructure here within Seymour. And you can see, we'll just kind of walk through this real quickly. By the numbers, capital expenditures since 2018, so the last 5 years, 2.7 million in CapEx have been put back in the ground here in city limits of Seymour. 1,123 customers at this time, 28 miles of pipe, which is a lot of pipe. That's a big thing. And then this past fiscal year, last fiscal year, FY22, $1.137455 million put back in the ground. And of course, just a snap-line, most of y'all know this, our employees come out of our Sanford and Sweetwater Service Center, and we obviously have some help from Wichita Falls Service Center if we can't get to it quick enough from our folks. But that bar graph down there shows you an example of since 2018 by year, what those amounts look like as far as CapEx spending. And you may have a question as to, well, what's the difference between 2022 and the other years? And some of y'all may have seen this little white car running around, stuff on top of it. It's called the AMLD, Advanced Mobile Leak Detection Car. So we're running that car in all of our cities. What that does is it picks up leaks at a greater minute quality than our normal survey trucks that you see running around for many years. We're still doing those on an annual basis on the terms that we do, but we've done that because we've started looking at, just like the city looks at the age of water, sewer pipes. We've started looking at the age of our pipes in different cities and where we can do that. So that AMLD card, as it detects leaks, we come out and investigate. And then if we detect a leak, we repair it. But then when we repair that leak, we also look at where that leak is at. What kind of infrastructure below the ground? Is it bare steel? Is it coated steel? What are we doing? And so that leads us to the pie chart on the right there. That's your pipe makeup in the city of Seymour. So 23% bare steel, coated steel 39%, then plastic poly, which is what the new thing is, about 38%. So as we determine those types of things, we try to, obviously we want to eliminate as much of that old pipe as we can as we come to it. A lot of it's still in good shape, but it's as we find it, we want to make sure that replace it, get it done. So the next time I come back, next year for this particular item, these numbers will probably, you'll see a difference there as well. So as we continue to work. Other than that, again, recommend approval of the resolution. Appreciate y'all's membership in the coalition. And again, along with the other 181 cities, that gives you guys a seat at the table to negotiate, rates instead of doing it individually. Happy to answer your question.
This 1.137 billion, that's how much has been spent by Atmos in Seymour 2022.
Fiscal year 2022, yes, sir.
Just another off-the-wall question, but any chance of moving a service center to Seymour, Texas?
So at this time, again, we have our service center in Abilene, Sweetwater, and Stanford. We have Wichita Falls close by, but it's something I can ask our operations team. And I know we've had, Regan was here for many years and then retired, and then Brody, I think he moved over to the Wichita Falls, but he still, here knows what and we asked him to lean on him heavily. I think the plan is to replace him here so that we have that town connection, the local connection.
My dad worked for Lone Star Gas for about 20 years, predecessor to Atmos.
Yep.
And they used to have a large operation here. Of course, it's all changed. I get it.
My dad worked for Lone Star and that was 35 years.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
yeah, thank y'all for your.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. All right. Any- I was gonna ask about that. Okay. We're gonna do our public hearings. City of Seymour is gonna conduct a public hearing establishing an ad valorem levy tax rate for the city of Seymour, Texas 2023. For the proposed tax rate, for the city of Seymour is 0.43625 per $100 of value, which is higher than the voter approval tax rate of 0.36059. And I think we've kind of kicked this around back and forth and right. I got you. So any comment from council on this? Any comments from the public? All right, this is our first public hearing on this. Okay, we'll go to, I know, good. City of Seymour conducts a public hearing regarding the fiscal year 2023-2024 proposed budget.
We have put that online, right, Lauren, for the community and advertise that paper as required by law. So it's been out there for the public to view.
Thank you, Jeff. People do. They do. We look at that. Okay. Anyone want to discuss that at this point? Any comments from folks out here? Not. Let's move on to the City of Seymour conducting a public hearing regarding the PCAF power cost adjustment factor, which I hope somebody's got a degree in math. Jeff, that may be you. You're the
Well,
doctor.
we don't have to break all that down, but essentially the council had passed an ordinance on that a number of years ago. And so as we were sitting down trying to do that calculation, it just needed to be, it's most of its form just needed to be cleaned up a little bit. So we worked with Schneider Engineering, y'all's consultant. And so he made just a slight adjustment there. So that would be more clearly read and understood. So really, it's we're not actually going to change the ordinance or anything, just to clean up that formula.
Okay, so our engineers worked on that. Okay. All right, let's move on. Jeff? Yes, I did. No one had a comment, I don't believe. Okay. Move on to the consent agenda. Jeff, you want to go through that or?
The council's had the opportunity to read through all that. I mean, again, if y'all want to discuss anything specifically, pointing out, we felt like most everything in there was just standard operating procedure. Really, if y'all wanted to answer any questions or if y'all wanted to pull any of those items out, y'all can do it with a motion. So otherwise, I would just recommend that y'all approve the consent agenda as presented.
It's August. There,
One question, what's the American Commission? What is that?
So the way it's printed is the mayor.
It says in the ordinance that the mayor is to commission the officers. So I wrote it as you are to approve the officers and mayor to commission the officers would be implied. So I apologize. That's just my offering.
That's in the ordinance,
And
correct?
that is per the ordinance.
And that's in our packet, who the officers are and all that. All right. Got two officers here, sitting up here amongst us. Okay. Any comment? from The folks out here on the consent agenda? If not, we need to move to action items. We act on it now? Okay, all right, I thought we acted at the end. Okay. Yeah, we can approve this. We need a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as read
Have a motion from Councilman Glass. Is there a second?
with correction on number 5 is August, change to August, July.
Thank you. You got that, Lauren? Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Councilman Hendricks seconded that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Passes 4-0. All right. Now we can go to action items. Number 14, discuss, consider, and take action on the request from Seymour Helping Hands to hold their Spring Fling 2024 in the Seymour City Park and to also hold a street dance at the Courthouse Square from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. People gonna be dancing for 9 hours, Kim. I'm just kidding. Requiring South Washington and East McLean to be closed from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes, sir. Seymour Helping Hands, this will be the third year that we will have
Would you go ahead and introduce yourself? Okay, people don't know who you are.
I'm Kimberly Stevenson, and I'm the president of Seymour Helping Hands. And so what we're wanting to do is for the third year in a row, we'd like to shut down the park during the day of September, May the 4th. It's a Saturday. And again, we'd like to utilize the same locations we've used in the past, from right here at the street all the way around without blocking any kind of entrance to and from the area for the apartments. What we're wanting to do though this year is we'd like to include other civic organizations or other groups to be able to have some of the funds that come in that day, as well as kind of spread it out throughout the day. I know it says from 1 to 10 downtown. We don't need to shut down anything downtown until probably closer to the 4 o'clock hour. We were kind of looking at the timeline. What we'd like to do with that is we would like to go and have at 4 o'clock, as everything's winding down here, we're going to have somebody take a cruise down by the nursing home, let the senior citizens see the cars, enjoy them, the ones that can't get out, and then end up back downtown. We originally asked Miss Lauren to reserve the theater down there for a movie. One of the high school classes is going to take over any kind of concession or anything like that to be able to raise that high school class some money there. Or if one of the civic organizations would like to do something in that case, that will help them raise a little funds. It'll also keep people in town, but they're wanting to watch the movie, maybe bring them downtown to the museums and things like that. If we can get the museums to stay open, maybe some of the businesses. And Lauren had mentioned maybe doing it at the lot. We're going to get in touch with the chamber and maybe utilizing that area for it. But for safety purposes, we would like to shut down from right where the main street going down toward Washington, and then all the way just past where the community center's at on Washington, toward where the old railroad tracks used to be. And then the area where you turn on McLean going south in front of the community center by the courthouse, just to make it for safety purposes. We do have a band that's supposed to come in from Houston. And if they come in, we expect a crowd to come in from outside of town that afternoon, that evening, which will bring people to use the car, the gas stations, places like that, maybe stay in hotels, that sort of thing. We do know at least 2 of the B&Bs have been rented out for that night. A couple of hotel rooms possibly are also going to be rented. So it is bringing business into Seymour. And then we don't plan to serve alcohol at either one of the events. Of course, you can at the park, but that's not why we're moving this part downtown. It's more to, if everything works out, December 7th is our soft opening for the community center. And then that would allow us to have people come from the car show, by the community center, see what we're doing, see the actual building, where their donations, where their money's going, that sort of thing. And just bring something else downtown. Everybody's always saying, we miss the old street dances down by the courthouse. So we thought maybe this would be a way to bring this back.
Thank you, Kim. So let me ask you a quick question.
Yes, sir.
As far as the location on this, kind of clear my mind on this. We talking from Main Street west to the Oak Street, which is the old railroad tracks. Is that what we're talking
That
about?
2 block range
Yes,
there,
yes.
and then 1 block from the corner of McLean and Washington down to right in front of TJ's old place.
Okay,
And
that's
maybe
why,
that's just for safety.
I got you.
People are walking and things.
Yeah, okay, that's where I kind of had it in my head. And basically, it's gonna be like it was last year as far as the car
Yes,
show.
sir. Everything else is going to be just the same as it was last year. We're trying to address any questions.
Y'all have any questions or anything?
I got one for grass that's not a problem close to the street.
About the same they always do for the cruise of the Brad.
Okay.
Thank you, Kim.
Thanks, John.
This is an action item. Someone like to make a motion on approving this? Spring Fling 2024 Seymour City Park.
Just so y'all know, that is actually being sponsored by KFDX, TV3, and Rock 18. It is going to be 3 weeks sitting on the TV, media. They're doing a whole campaign for it, so how many people are doing this shit?
Okay.
After we get $59.
All right.
Mayor, I'll make a motion. We approve this spring fling.
Okay.
And a second.
Got a motion by Councilman Glass and second by Councilwoman Gillespie. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, the same. Passes 4-0. All right. Discuss, number 15, discuss, consider, and take action regarding the 180-day abatement received by Jake Wilden on March 16, 2023, with no fine assessed at the time. Wilden present to City Council improvements on the property located at 107 North Main. Does anybody know if Jake's gonna be here?
Jake reached out to me today and said that he would not be able to attend, but that he had made arrangements to have the structure removed from the property by Christmas. That's really all this text said.
Did we give it to September? Is that what we gave him?
Yes, that's why we're having this discussion, because it's been 180 days as of 5 days ago.
Yes, the question is, where do we go from here? The building, you may want to describe, it's on the ground at this point.
Your next possible courses of action, you could assess a fine. Because that is initially what TCG suggested, was that you assess a fine until it's done, and we gave him grace of 180 days with no fine. That's written the way it is. So you can assess a fine, or you can extend your, what is this, 180 days with no fine. You can extend that another 3, 4, 90 days. 90 days.
What would the fine be, you know, how much?
So the fines can be up to $2,000 a day for non-compliance. That's what the state allows you. But what would end up doing is we would have him a citation issued for public nuisance on the grounds that it's safety and health hazard. And then that citation will go to municipal court, and the judge will assess a fine at that time. So we don't actually assess fines, but you would direct us and a citation would be issued, and he would go to court.
Would they know when he, oh, sorry.
Is that what he typically charges them something?
Well, not every time you take it.
Every ticket.
If the judge doesn't dismiss it, all right. Can the judge know that we've already extended it like 180 days and he hadn't done anything?
How often can you give it to me?
By state statutes, you can give a ticket every day that it's not brought up to code. So typically I've never issued anyone a ticket every single day, but the state does allow for that.
So it'd be what the judge says, as far as daily or monthly or every time a ticket comes in.
So aside, and correct me anytime that I'm wrong, Bryce. As fines would only be assessed per citation, so it wouldn't be like a rotating fine that happens off of one citation. It would have to be a single citation issued on a regular basis that would occur a fine. So it wouldn't just be, if you don't fix this, I'm gonna fine you every day.
What do y'all think?
I have another question too, real quick. I'm sorry. I know it's about the building, but what about all those trucks that are there? Those have to be gone too, or no?
The initial letters that were sent were for the structure. So that was what we did, a condemned substandard building deal on. So can he be cited for additional code infractions as they occur? Yes, he can. I cannot tell you right now if any of the vehicles on that property are considered a code infraction. It may not be because that business is zoned commercially as a B2. So what's parked there may be allowed, but I haven't assessed it.
But also think that you can send a weed letter as well for that property. I didn't, which has not been directed.
It hadn't, you're saying it hasn't been paid or it hadn't been gone?
It hasn't been mowed.
Oh, it hadn't.
We don't send grass letters to court because it doesn't do any good. So the course of action for that is for us to abate them and then bill them for the abatement.
We just need to decide, how do we want to go forward after we got the 180-day extension? It's on the ground, but not removed. So do we want to authorize a citation? Hold on, or extend the time?
So Mr. Wildens had a citation for grass.
No, just a weed letter, stating that needs to have it. Notice.
Got a letter saying your grass is too high, mow it. Nothing's happened at this point.
Well, I'm going to kind of offered him a 180-day deal and give him to September to clean it up. I felt sorry for him. I thought you'd do the right thing and clean it up, but he didn't. So shame on me. So
you're working with the communities. What you were doing,
I thought he was going to get it cleaned up after we give you 180-day grace, get it cleaned up. He said he would, and he didn't. So
make a motion to fine.
I make a motion that we send a citation to him.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, motion by Councilman Wynn and second by Council Lady Gillespie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's 4-0. So let's move on. Number 16, discuss, consider, and take action concerning a specific use. Let me back up just a minute. We've already voted on this, but anybody have a comment? I mentioned, you're free to do that. Number 16, discuss, consider, and take action concerning a specific use permit that was approved for 409 North Murray, allowing the owners to use their camper trailer as a temporary residence. My understanding is it went in a different spot. Is that right? So, yeah, so I guess the discussion is, what do we do? Has someone spoken to this gentleman?
I spoke with Ms. Hughes when this was first brought to my attention, and she said that they were unable to place the RV in the original permit location due to the fact that the sewer connect is up by the house on the hill, and they would have to install a lift station for it to work. And so the only place that was viable for them to park was at the front door location where they're parked right now. She said that they were not capable of moving it and placing it anywhere else because there was no other tap location or elevation wise that would allow for them to put that RV in a different spot. They are making headway on house build. It has hit a couple of bumps in the road, but they've seen progress, so they're back on track. She did not have a construction end date for me, but I did specifically tell her that it was not the permitted location and that we would discuss it again at council. She said that unfortunately they were not able to move it and use it as a residence at that time because that's where the sewer line was.
Hey, why did she not come back to the city and ask us for a different permit, or why did she not come back and ask us, would it be okay to put this trailer here, and explain why she had to put it there instead of just doing it?
Well, I'm gonna defer to your water superintendent because the thing that the claim she gave to me is that she asked the water department to come out and assess it, and they refused her sewer, or refused her septic tank, which is true by our ordinances. We do not allow for septic tanks, and so I'll let you take it from
Okay,
there.
if you'll introduce yourself, your position.
Chase Hoyt, water and wastewater supervisor. So, they built their house below grade without asking if they would have a chance to get to the sewer. So, what I told them is to just tap into Lynch's old house, which is where they parked it, I guess. And, I said, hire a plumber to take shots and see if you can, get sewer to that sewer main. Because we didn't want to dig up that road unless we had to. So, after that, they didn't want to do that. And I told them, well, you could put in a lift station. They're not that expensive. My brother-in-law did it. It wasn't that bad. Just put a little barrel on the ground and get a pump on it. It's got a float on it. It's not that bad. But I never heard anything back from them. And then saw their RV parked beside the Lynch's. So I gave them, 3 or 4 options, and I never heard back. So I didn't deny them service. I told them, you can pay for a tap if you want to. It's just going to be.
You explained no septic system there.
Yeah, definitely not that.
Yeah.
There's most likely one out there because there was a trailer out there, and we can't find where a sewer tap might have been because it was so low grade. There's no way unless they had a lift station somewhere. So at some point there probably was a septic tank out there somewhere in that trailer. But
Not to interrupt you, but they got 90 days on their original permit. Is that right? The specific use permit or whatever they got.
I don't believe it had a time period on it.
It have to expire at some point.
Well, there was not a time limit on it. I'm almost positive. I can pull the minutes, but
I was thinking I saw 90 days. I could be wrong.
But it just says, Mark, the request is so that property may be used for the living while their house is being
Right.
built 2 to 3 months.
Okay. All right. 60 to 90 days. Yes.
I'm guessing that they're the ones that the Hughes are the ones that wrote that out.
yes, I did not do that.
They've been there. It was approved last month. So it's
Yes.
been there 30 days. So,
I think the issue is the location
Yes.
and the way that it's fenced off.
I agree.
Fences look pretty rough out. They also have some health issues that they're battling. And so, I told her that, we were sorry for that and wish that they were feeling better. And she indicated that that was part of their reason why they would not be able to make any additional changes and were for some increasing health issues. So I do not think it's permanent. I did tell her that assuredly when the house is built, this will have to be moved and stored. It cannot be used as a residence per the permit.
Thanks, Chase.
So, but yes, and I assured her that she was not denied service. And, you know,
What are some possible actions we can take, if any?
again, you can, we can send her a letter and let her know that she is not permitted to have that in the location she's at, that she will need to move it. And then if it's not moved in the time, we will send her a citation based on zoning, puts her back in municipal court. There's no abatement. Like, you can't go and move it kind of thing. There's no abatement on our end that can be done, so it'd have to be done by a citation.
So I've got a question for Chase. So they're building this house, they're gonna have to have a sewer tap regardless, correct?
Yeah, they could tie into, I mean, they bought both these properties, so they could tie into what's existing already.
Okay, on their side, not y'all's side.
Yes.
Our side.
I gave them plenty of options and
So if they could do that, then why could they have not have done that already and went in and put a RV drop in
that's what I've done.
and done things like it was supposed to be done?
Yeah, I mean, you could have, what I'd have done as part of the RV and, had it, where it's, where you had a gravitational feed all the way to that sewer tap. That's what I'd have done. Don't you still park in the spot that you asked for?
Yeah, because they're gonna have to have one at some point.
Eventually, yeah. I
Okay,
didn't deny them service. I just said that we would rather not tear up this road. And, you've got, it's probably gonna be cheap in the long run if you were to just run it, yourself and just, I mean, you might be able to take shots and you might be able to empty the sewer main. But it's gonna, I mean, they built it pretty low grade. It's, even if we ran the sewer tap to them as it is, it might have trouble. So that's why I thought, lift station would probably be the best bet and we never have to worry about it again.
And I have not spoken with
Thank
Lucy
you.
since the day I called either. So I have not had an update, not spoken with her since the day I got information.
It's we're kind of chicken, I mean, what are we? They've got a maximum, the way I look at it, they said 60 to 90 days, they've got a maximum of 60 days left. If they were at the right location. Okay. Side them. Can't move it.
Yeah. My option would be to just send them a letter, give them 45 days. Maybe they can get well and maybe they can get it plugged in like it needs to be. That's what I, just not motion. That's just my opinion.
Fence it differently. But they own the house it's next to, where it's parked next to. If they know they're not in compliance, right? I mean, they know they've been visiting with Chase and you, whoever. So,
How far is the house out, you think, being completed? You know anything, man?
Excuse me. I think the exterior's done. The last I heard is just wooden studded walls up. Just the last I heard. I don't know. That's probably been a week ago.
It could be 6, 8, maybe a year, right? Year out.
Depending on the contract.
all right. They can be cited, we can approach them, fence it off possibly. Chase, what is that little lift station you're talking about? How much would that cost?
I wasn't given a price. I don't know. But,
$1,000? 2,000?
Probably around there. I can ask my brother-in-law, but they just had to get theirs done.
Right.
I could talk to them tomorrow. Maybe we could figure out something where they can move back. I don't know if they're allowed to now, but it's all this has happened, but we could talk about maybe helping them figure out how to still get sewer to that tap.
That would be wonderful if you could work something out with them and,
We're gonna make a decision.
Yeah.
Be talking to them.
Yeah.
See if we,
because next month, if nothing changes, we could suggest a citation or yeah, if they, yeah, exactly.
But you could citation, right? Daily. Get their attention.
You're telling you that not what it's.
Like 30 days and see if Chase can work something that way. I agree.
And then at that point, doing what we did. And maybe you want to make a motion to table it? How would that work? Table it to the next meeting, subject to Mr. Boyd visiting with these folks and trying to work out something agreeable. Okay.
Mayor, make a motion to table the
615,
16, but
yeah, 16.
the permit on 409 North Murray Street.
Second. Okay, we've got a motion by Councilman Wynn, a second by Councilman Glass to table number 16. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Passes. Okay, let's skip ahead. There's a lady here that, she probably needs to be somewhere. This is 22. Yeah. Consider discuss authorization to issue requests for proposals, RFP for the administrative and plan development services for the community development block grant mitigation, CDBG, MIT grant programs administered by the Texas General Land Office, GLO.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here, Deborah.
No problem. I'm Deborah Milburn, and I'm with Brandworks, and I can tell you about the RCP, which is the Resilient Communities Program. And you know, what you can do with that grant. One of the good things is, it's a limit of 300,000. There's no match. You don't hear that very often.
Yeah.
Everything would come out of the grant, you know, so, if they can have to, if you don't have a comprehensive plan, they work on doing you a comprehensive plan, whatever you hire. And, it can include land use, population, demographics, housing, infrastructure, capital improvement plans, and new and updated zoning. So, the new and updated, you know, if you have one, and I don't know, if you have a comprehensive plan, then, okay, so you would just be updating it or just making sure everything is. But they do different things. Let's see. At the end of this, you would always have, you know, like full color mapping, both on paper and digital form. You know, so that would give you new maps and stuff. You'll eventually have to, if you come across, you start doing the building code, you have to upgrade your building code. Development, implementation of a flood damage prevention ordinance. All this would be done in 2 years. You know, you would just have to hire a grant. And this comprehensive plan has to like integrate with your hazard mitigation plan. And that's all in one of your admin where you go. I can answer any questions or.
So you apply for this $300,000.
That should be 300,000.
I mean, do we have to submit, you come up, you do the plan for, or the application?
You'll have to go out for an RFP process. You know, for proposals for an admin. And,
Okay. Gotcha.
That's what they, it's saying is that we will go out.
Okay. Yeah. And no match, we don't have to match anything as far as this.
We did this in 2015 when I first got hired. And we got a grant for it. And so it did all the land use maps, we had a zoning map, all those maps we brought came from the original comprehensive plan that we had. It lapsed since 2025. So it's just the right time, and this grant just happened to open. It's perfect. We can update our zoning maps. We put in our hazard mitigation. We have this kind of outside, we'll pull that in. And then most of this other stuff, we've already kind of got. We have most of it accomplished. The main thing is that we get all these very extensive maps updated and all our comprehensive plan is written about kind of where you all want to see Seymour in the next 10 years. How do you want land use? How do you want your business district developed? You can create all of that inside your comprehensive plan and theoretically all of it.
That's what this addresses.
That's what this grant would do, and it's zero match. That's the best part of it. And a lot of those like CDBGs and stuff that we apply for, we have to put money in. This one's zero match, so that's why we go.
All right. Any questions from the council? Thank you for presenting that. We appreciate your time. Anyone sitting out here who would like to make a comment? If not, I'm going to assume we need a motion authorize this request. Go ahead.
Motion that we authorize this request for proposals and administrative plan development.
Okay, we have a motion. Do this, number 22. Anybody want to second this? Councilman Hendricks. Second, is it all in favor, say aye. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to skip back up to get back in order. Okay. 17, discuss, consider, and take action concerning pricing Southport recreational complex. Dr. Bridges.
I like want to talk about this. She worked really hard on this, so it make more sense of it to me.
Okay, so originally the request was to give you options of what you could price the gun range at as a membership in relation to other memberships in other places. So if we charge, let's look at this, I'm sorry. If you look at the regular membership, it's $55 a month right now for just golf. If you move over to full facility membership, that's $75. That means 55 of it's going towards golf membership theoretically. And 83 cents a month is going towards fishing, and $19.17 would be going towards the gun range. To make that membership be beneficial to the person who chooses it, we have to go higher than $19.17 a month for a gun range. So you move over to the gun range at $20 a month. That would be $240 a year if you did that by monthly payments, or we always offer 2 months free if they pay annually. It would be $200. Now, at the last meeting, we discussed being closer to $150 to $180. So if you'll turn to the next page, the only way we can get there is if we increase your membership pricing. So in the first column, your regular membership would be increased $10, and that's to set the bar. So move over to regular full facility. It's increased by $5. So it's $80 a month now. In that $80, they have a golf membership at $65, a fishing membership that's 83 cents a month, and a gun range membership that's $14.17. So if you go all the way to the right, you see that now the gun range is priced at $15 a month. which puts you at $180 a year if you pay in monthly payments, or $150 if you pay annually. And that was kind of the discussed goal price to get towards. The only way I could get there was to increase membership rates.
And I would just like to add to that, the increase in the budget for the golf, 36,000, and that was, I think all of it was due to salary, moving Sean out there at his rate, plus 4% increase. So we're seeing the budget for software to increase. I think the council should consider, increasing. I don't think we've had increase in several years, or at least since I've been here on software. So I would ask the council to consider that as well, just steady inflation.
One of the other items to notice is that your elite membership goes up $20. The reason for such an increased amount on that is that if you'll go down the cart rentals, they're getting charged $30 a month for free cart rentals. These are typically your frequent flyer golfers. They're golfing more than 5 times a month. You are losing money on golf cart rentals with your frequent flyer elite members. You have 34 of them. At the very least, they should probably be paying for 2 carts every month, because more than likely they are exceeding that and they're saving money. And that's why they choose that membership, is to save money. So I would even argue, which is not a popular argument, is that you would increase that elite membership probably to where they're paying for 4 carts a month. Because if that's not in line with what they want to do, then they could move over to the less monthly charge of the regular and then pay those cart rentals. If they think they're going to golf less than 4 times a month, if they are golfing more than 4 times a month, then they're still saving money. But you aren't losing money, and tying up your carts is now a little bit more cost effective. But that's a big hike. That's that would end up being a $50 increase on your elite membership. And so I thought that's a little extravagant on the first go round. So we increased it $20 just to give you an idea of what that looks like. So that would be a $65 a month golf membership. Their fishing is included. The only additional cost would be $30 for their cart rental for the month. The elite full facility, you can see how that breaks down as well. Another request that was done was talking about daily rates. So if you'll move to the bottom left-hand part of your page there, it shows you daily green fees. And we discussed having inside city limit rates and outside city limit rates. Inside city limit rates could also be reflected in your daily green fees and your carts. It doesn't have to be. But I just gave you that option to see what that could look like. It is a 20% difference. So it's not insane. It is a very minor dollar amount. But so the gun range at $25 a day rate would be $31.25 for outside city limits at a 20% increase.
And we also get a discount for city employees as well.
Well, I mean, city employees have the option for a discount anyways. But the other way to look at this is your people who live inside the city limits, their taxes, people who own property inside the city limits, people who they're ones funding this golf course. So giving a inside the city limits rate discount essentially is beneficial to those people as far as how their investment is kind of represented. So we don't just say that we're charging everybody more. You could say those who live inside the city limits, this is your rate. It's more like a benefit than it would be a discount.
I think your daily rate on your gun range needs to be higher than $25. Right now you can go out there seven times, and shoot 7 times, and that's matches $180. Your fee. Right.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, you'd have to shoot over 7.
No,
What would you like for it to be? I mean,
I do fee to
That's just something council need to discuss if they
Yeah.
decide. So, I mean, just that's money's.
I do fee to your $60 a day, and that way you can be cheaper to buy your membership.
So that's a good point. Even if we did, well, $60, that would say 3 times. Yeah. So if you were going to go shoot more than 3 times in that year, it would make that membership beneficial. Yes.
You do your out rate, your out of town rate a little higher,
It'd be 75.
If people come in to hunt for the Metroplex, $180, they can pay that and you go in. That's my 2 cents.
That's something that's always confusing. Why is our daily green fees for 18 and 9 holes the same price?
That's the way y'all set it up, but that is a good argument though. I mean, if you're gonna pay 18, it should be a fixed amount. Or you just, what I've seen in some courses, you have to pay for 18. And then if you want to pay 9, then they give you a rain check for the other 9.
That's
Well,
not,
but that's 18-hole golf course, I would think.
Yeah, so it should be for 18. But still, I mean,
I'm just saying, because if it's a 9-hole golf course, you should have the option to play 9 and 18.
you can say that play them at 18 hole golf course, you should have an option to just play 9. I said, no, they go 18. That just makes sense. The golf game is 18 holes. She said that twice for 2 different people.
And if other courses also have twilight hour fees, they also have senior citizen fees.
We've done some twilight stuff too.
I looked at, is it Wichita Falls? Is it Champion? Is that theirs? Their prices, there's 2 pages of pricing. That's a nightmare. Oh my gosh, can you imagine all the buttons on the cash register you'd have to put on? I mean, there was
I've
so much
suggested a
pricing.
different price for 18 than 9.
Right. But the Twilight and the senior and the whole thing, they do that. So we have to do this by ordinance. So we have to put it in the paper as a public hearing, and then we'll have to talk about it next month. So y'all can tell me what you want. That way I can print it correctly, and then we can vote on it next.
We do that now.
Yes, hopefully.
So we should hopefully be ready to open that shooting range within a month. So you're talking about how we. Anyway, it's at that rate, but they can't even open the course in until all those rates have been set. So,
What's the rate? Are we just discussing one rate, the gun range?
software, yeah, which involves all the rates.
It's everything within that. We're talking about just one.
No, it would be, we would pass one ordinance and do all the rates so that there's not pieces of it everywhere.
Well, but we're just discussing changing one. I mean, if we go with this, we're good with everything except one thing we're discussing. Is that what you're saying? The gun range, what would be
For the daily rate.
for the daily rate?
And I've made that
Okay.
change too.
You okay with the $50 daily rate? For 16 and 75 for out of towners, is that what you had, Lauren? What do you want to do about the 18 and 9, Billy?
Is it out of towners or out of county?
Yeah, out of town.
Out of towners outside of Slim.
Not out of county, out of town.
So like the issue with that. Your driver's license, if you live on County Road 422, it's going to say Seymour. So it might not always be obvious to the people at the front desk that are doing the memberships, whether or not you're inside or outside, unless they check your utilities account. I mean, they can do it that way. But the question is, do you want there to be a rate for inside the county or inside the city limits, or do you want it to just be everybody's rate except for the gun? Because that's what we do now. There's just one rate for everything. And then and if we want to, we can do just those 2 rates.
I mean-
You don't have to change everything.
I got a question. I mean, Why are we charging out of town people more money? Have it the same, because those out of town people are gonna come in, then they're gonna spend money somewhere else that's gonna come with us. They're gonna go get gas, they're gonna go to Superstop, go to chicken place.
I think the argument is that the people with the live in the city limits are taxpayers, you know, they'll pay lots of city taxes. They should probably get a little break, if someone outside the city, they don't pay any city taxes. But yet, still, not fair, I think, for the people who live in the city, all those taxes, plus they pay the same rate. So what you're doing is giving the people who live outside the city, they're getting a discount. They're getting awarded for not paying city tax.
So if you look on the bottom right-hand side where it says memberships in blue, right, city discount,
Second page.
second page, yes, bottom right-hand corner. What you could do is go up to this rate right here where it says regular membership is $81.25. But if you live inside the city limits or you live in the county, the discount is 65. So it would, that way your people who live inside the city limits or inside the county are still at that rate, but it's done like that. Now, the economic development side of my brain says you don't want to discourage outside people from coming in. So I totally understand where you're coming from, but the budget side of my brain goes, you know, do we need to generate more funds from them for budget, you know?
Would be easier, less complicated if we just said one rate.
Yes, it would be 100%. And if Nita was here, she'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do so many different things in the computer. It would be 65 regular, 80 regular full facility, 95 elite, 110 elite full facility. Our youth membership would not increase. Then we would have a daily rate for the gun range at $60 for inside the city limits. And we would have an outside rate of 75, or just do 60, just one. So we'd strike the 75 and just do the 60. And your 18 holes right now is 25. So if you want to set a 9-hole rate, you're welcome to. I would encourage you to pick a rate that makes them want to go with 18 holes. So like it's $23 to play 9 holes and $25 to play 18. That encourages them to either to play an extra hole rounded a golf. Oh, play 9 holes.
Yeah, which is still really, really, really cheap. You can't play that cheap little else can. I guess you got good stuff that have time. Good up all the open.
We'll set the rate.
What is it? I do not suggest you go down on your court fees. Your court rentals are increasing by $3,000 this next year. Oh, you meant for the 9 holes, a $10 court rental. I'm sorry, I thought you meant in total. Okay. You said 15 for 9, correct? And then
Or you keep just make them pay with 18, and they get a rate check for the 9. So that's the other one, which is to check out. 5 or 6 hours.
Build it what you want. I'm not a golfer. So.
we could do like a 9-hole package where you get, this might be cool, because we don't, I know this sounds stupid, we don't have to add any more buttons to the capture insurance. That capture insurance is a nightmare sometimes, right? So we have a greens fee for $25 already. If we do a 9-hole package and do it for $15 plus a $10 cart rental, we only have to hit, we just hit that $25 button. So if we just called it a package, a 9-hole package, it would get you a cart and we just have
It'd be handy and
Yeah.
simple.
one button.
If somebody else is stopping. Well, keep on going up. That's the problem. And if you have somebody who wants to golf cart for $10 and a 9-hole, and there's $10 this day, you lost one. So. It's not just. if I-
Policing
people out
is
there
the-
that play nine hole, it's just, oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody sitting there, stop. Yeah, all the thing you do, right, like, so.
Well, do you want to call it a twilight? If you call it a twilight and you know that it's only 3 hours left to play, that's the only time you do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, 5.
After 5, 9.
That package is not available till after 5 o'clock. Yeah,
After 5 to 9.
Be all right, Bill? You like that?
Do you also want to carry that over to the weekends? Yes, okay. Just making sure. Okay, so 18 holes is going to remain at 25. We're going to do an after 5 p.m. 9-hole package for $25. We have one gun range fee, daily rate of $60, and the suggested rate increases stay as. We're not going to do any outside rate increases.
okay.
Not at this time.
There's,
At this-
there's something to be said about simplicity, but the rates overall will go up
Yes.
because of this. Revenue hopefully will be increased out there. Okay. Can somebody get this on paper?
Yes.
Lauren got it? Okay. We need a motion on this or? Oh, that's right. Thank you. Okay. We need it. Would anybody out here, Chase, anybody, Robert, y'all want to say it? You already said something. Thank you. Anyway,
Mayor, I make a motion, we, take the, price increase that we talked about. First, price adjustments, at the Salt Fork Recreational Complex.
Second.
all in favor, say aye. Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Motion made by, Councilman Nguyen, seconded by Councilman Gladys. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, the same. None. All right. Woo. Okay.
That's what that said.
Take as long as I thought. Discuss, consider, and take action to adopt ordinance number 2023-07, establishing the ad valorem tax rate for the city of Seymour fiscal year. Okay. 2023 through 2024 at 0.43625 per $100 valuation. Put that in there. Okay. Okay. For $100 evaluation, which is not lower, it's higher than the voter approval tax rate at 0.36059. Tax rate represents the operations and maintenance budget. Sorry. By conducting a formal vote of the Seymour City Council as required by said ordinance. Okay, I guess we need to figure out where we want to be on that.
So what we discussed, of course, the last council meeting was to go with 43625. That's what we built our budget on. So for a lower rate, but you cannot go for a higher rate. But again, the budget we're presenting here tonight is at 0.43625.
Which is what it was last year.
Yes. Same rate as that was approved last year.
That notice of public hearing tax increase that was put in the newspaper is under.
Kind of had a few discussions with Dr. Brazier on this. And I think the amount of money that we're talking about is with the rate that we have now, the existing rate. It would produce, I think, only $70,000. So go with a lower rate, we've got that much less to do something with, and I just don't. personally, I don't know how we can do, but we're struggling. And, get people paid and projects done and things. I just would hate to kind of go backwards on that, just my opinion. What do y'all think?
I agree. I think it needs to stay that way.
We're not changing the rate, values have gone up some, not, I think I saw like average rate. Pick a property and you can find a different number, but I don't think that's excessive. You look at the other taxing agencies, now they're way lower, you know, for a number of reasons, but, I'm real sensitive to, you know, what people have to do, but I don't think that's excessive. It's my way I look at it with what we're trying to do. You know, we've got water issues, we've got, you know, infrastructure issues, and we gotta go on that. Anyway, my 2 cents. Any more discussion, any questions from Dr. Brazier, any questions from out here?
Mayor, I'll make a motion, we accept ordinance number 2023-07.
Second. Okay, we have a motion made by Councilman Hendricks and a second by Councilman Glass. Well, yes, yeah, that's a flip. We're adopting this tonight, right? Okay. Done all the notices and publications and all those things. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Oh, I'm sorry.
The roll call vote.
That's right. Jeff, you told me that. You absolutely told me that. I don't know where that paper is. I'm sorry. Yeah. We've got to do this by roll call. I'm sorry. Motion to adopt ordinance number 2023-07 was made by Councilman Billy Hendricks, seconded by Councilman Glass. Councilman member Langwin, what is your vote?
Yes.
Councilman member Skylar Hendricks is absent. Council member Debbie Gillespie, place 3.
Yes.
The Mayor Pro Tem Monty Glass, place 4. What is your vote on that?
Yes.
And Council member Billy Hendricks, place 5. What is your vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Got 4 ayes and no nays. Sounds funny to say, but okay, we're going to move forward. We're going to do the best we can with appreciate the taxpayers. I think we all do. And the utility customers. It takes it all to make it work. Okay, we ready to move to 19? Discuss, consider, and take action to approve resolution number 1552 adopting the fiscal year 2023, 2024 City of Seymour budget by conducting a formal vote for the Seymour City Council as required by said resolution. We've looked at various renditions of the budget. I looked back over it today and probably all got, projects like more money for or less money for, but it seems like a reasonable budget to me, and it's less. Jeff, correct me, it's like $349,000 less.
Yeah, $394,000 less. And I just want to mention too, I think it's a very good budget. We worked very, very hard on it. And I just want to say thank you to everybody at City Hall, from Lauren and Mary and Suzanne and Nina. Everybody's worked really hard on this for a long time. So I do think it's a good budget. It continues to get cleaned up and better and better each year. But it's a balanced budget of $394,374. Right. Excuse me, $9,654,147. But it's a balanced budget. It's raises for all our employees. I think in this budget, we're going to address the needs of our city from the dilapidated properties to streets. So there's some things built in there that the council's requested that it's built in, and also debt. But at the same time, I feel like it's very budget, not don't feel like there's very little bad in there at all. I think the hardworking taxpayer dollars are going to our community, our infrastructure, and pay our good employees, market value, salaries. I think we, again, moving in a very positive direction. One other thing I did want to bring the council, attention to that we hadn't discussed this before, but we went for the, insurance proposals. And so the other insurance companies in Peru also went through Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is the same company that TML went through. So then we tried to go directly through Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they would not give us a proposal because then they thought they were competing with TML. So all that being said, we come up with 3 different options. Our current cost per employee is about $689.72. That's at a $750 deductible. So they gave us 3 options to go to up to $931.12, which is a 35% increase and a $1,500 deductible. Option 2 is the $895 with a 29.85% increase, a $2,500 deductible. And option 3 was at $853.72, which was a 23.71% increase, which is a $3,000 deductible. So what we did build into the budget was option 1, $931.12, 35% increase, the $1,500 deductible. That's what we went with. So we were able to put that in there. Thought that was something important for our employees to do that, and we're able to work that in with our current tax rate. So all that is built in as well.
That's built into this budget.
Correct. Yeah. As well as the AirMed care, the helicopter service, we did put that in there too. So that was an added benefit, and that was $75 per year per employee. And of course, everything else that we talked about.
Insurance rates are crazy. It just, you look at it, you just go, talk to other people, and it's like, oh no, that's, I don't know. Like I say, there's not a pleasant way to do it, honestly, but it's a benefit. And, appreciate you.
Y'all can go with less if y'all want to, and it's really y'all's decision, and we would have to make some amendments there to the budget. But that was what was built in.
$1,500.
Yeah, $1,500 deductible at $931.12. Yeah. Really blessed, I thought, to be able to do that.
I called.
Yes, yes, we're discussing it. You're free to comment on it. You got 3 minutes.
Is that fully paid for by the city? I'm just curious because it
Yeah.
got brought up. Okay.
It's the council, as long as the council approves that.
So the budget's already been, it's about to be finalized, once y'all vote on it?
Once they vote on it, yeah.
Okay. I hadn't seen any final copies or any rough drafts or anything of this budget. I don't know what any of my line items were met or anything like that.
Yes, everything's in there that was requested.
Okay.
And it has been all on the website as well.
Okay. Thank you.
And Chase, the door's always open, and so you're always more welcome to come in there and sit down and ask and visit as well. So.
More discussion. Yeah, insurance is not my, I mean, I cringe, when I see, that's the problem.
You don't use it at the drop.
Yeah, and it goes up. That's, but at some point
Out of pocket, but what's out of pocket? That's not bad. Mine is too, ours is 1,000 deductible and it's 2,400 out of pocket. So that's not bad, really.
all right. I'm not trying to rush anybody. Take your time. Yeah, somebody want to make a motion to adopt resolution number 1552, which is what we're talking about here, the budget. Okay with it?
I make a motion, we, approve resolution number 1552.
Okay, we have a motion made by Councilman Wynn. We have a second.
I second it.
Councilman Gillespie, Council Lady Gillespie, seconds that. We've got to go through that. Do it every week. We need to do a roll call voice vote with a yay or a nay. Councilmember Land Wynn, place one.
Yay.
Councilmember Skylar Hendricks, absent. Councilmember Debbie Gillespie, place three.
Yay.
Mayor Pro Tem Monty Glass, place four.
Yay.
Councilmember Billy Hendricks, place five.
Yay.
Okay, we've got 4 ayes, 0 nays, no nays. Okay. Lost. Okay, we are number 20. Discuss, consider, and take action to go out for bids for the sale of property located at the corner of East Lincoln and South Main as conveyed by TxDOT to the city of Seymour on March 5th, 2020. Are y'all familiar with where that property is? It's where, it's kind of in the general vicinity of where the Johnsons used to live, if you remember Rick Wiles' mother-in-law. It's basically kind of north of the new dollar store there.
If on the first page of your packet, it highlights in yellow under tab 20. Lot's weird. It comes in 3 different surveys. But that's the size of the property that we.
The city got it in 3 different parcels at 3 different times.
Well, except no, at one time, TxDOT bought it up in portions.
Right,
And
okay,
then we
yeah.
petitioned TxDOT and they gave it to us. So there's 3 surveys, but that's what it looks like. when you put them all together.
I looked at it the other day and I couldn't make it. It's 3 different surveys, like you say. That's pretty accurate right there. What happens? Does this go? We post this notice in the Baylor County Banner on our website and that kind of thing. So do we want to put is it just open for whatever people want to bid? Do we put a minimum bid on? Can we do?
You can put it in a bid, but you can accept, reject any and all offers.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Okay.
really, however y'all want to handle that.
Yeah.
No one bids over.
We just put that to get it done.
We have to run an article in the paper and then be in the next agenda with any bids, and then y'all decide if y'all want to sell it for that or not.
How many acres is it?
0.029 looks. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. You got water on it?
I have not looked into it. It's Chase. Is there any reason to think that there's water on it? But we're like, we would want to.
Oh, that Circle K? Well, what are you talking about?
At Lincoln and Main Street?
Yeah, it's a Circle K is what they want to put in there.
No, we're talking about,
Okay, I was talking to another guy's name, sorry. Oh, it's on East Lincoln and.
it's on the other side,
Other side.
right behind Red Arnold's house.
Uh,
Corner right there.
You know something we don't know?
I don't think Circle K is going in there. But that's not big enough.
So this is, 140 feet.
Lot 4 is 140 feet by 50 feet. And then that other 2 parcels are broken up in a third. And then there's, I don't know. It's, I wouldn't call it acreage. Let's put it that way. But the reason why we acquired it,
It's gotta be some kind of an acreage.
well, yes, but I know, but it's
That's what I'm trying to say. I need to know so I can
how big it is.
kind of put a price number on it.
How,
I don't know what acres are going for.
this is 0.08. 0.08 remaining acres. No. 0.161. This one is point. Oh my goodness. I think this one's only 4,750 square feet, which would be 0.109. That's 0.27. And this one is 0.029. That would be 0.299 of an acre. So just under a third of an acre. We're right at it. The reason why we acquired, it's zoned as an R1. We got it because we were trying to incentivize a liquor store. And so we were trying to get this property from TxDOT and it got stuck in the offices. It's COVID, it's 2020, couldn't get anything done. And then I was complaining to TxDOT to go mow their lot. And they're like, we don't own that lot, you do. And they had given us the property, but not told us about it. So anyways, so that's why we own it. We did purchase it for the purpose of commercial value because it's in that area, our shopping district to be.
It's zoned.
It is zoned as an R1. We have not, because we just found out that we had it. My thought was, do you want to keep mowing it and try, zone it and do all that? Or do you just want to get rid of it and not maintain it? But we just figured out that we owned it. We didn't own it until recently, or didn't know it. It's only worth what someone will give you. The zoning, commercial or residential, only changes the use of it. If someone purchases it for the commercial usage, we'll have to rezone it anyways. It doesn't cost them anything. So we can, if you want to do that prior to the sale. It just makes, so what it does is it ensures that that piece of property is used for commercial purposes and not used as a residential location if you zone it commercial.
Yeah.
So that does tell people how you expect it to be developed.
I know it stinks. I hate putting price on things because but then it don't sell and then we're still stuck and we're still mowing and we're still. But if you do sell it, even though if it's under value, now it's back on the tax books, it's back getting money generating on it. And then like I said, eventually maybe somebody wants to put something there.
We're not spending all our money on gas and salary.
Exactly.
Equipment, wear and tear, and so saving there.
I know it's hard for us to try to get face value of it. See what I'm saying?
Well, if somebody really lowballs it, you can always say, no, we're not,
Oh, no. Yeah, we can do that too. But again,
but then we're still mowing it, and doing all that, yeah.
But I do appreciate the fact that you're considering, do you want it as a house? Do you want someone to put a house on that property, or do you want that to be used commercially? Because that's how you build those districts, is y'all determine what you want those properties to be used for. Now, on the other end of that corner is a residence, and behind it is all residential. So you're kind of doing a mixed use in a way, but still the question bears, do you want it used as commercially or do you want it used as residential?
I like the fact that it's there by the road and y'all don't have those two businesses. So it is kind of a prime location for the business. You just sell it for either or, and they can consider that based on who wants to purchase it.
You can ask, in the bid process, do you ask them what their intent? Is that typical on
You can, but I can tell you one thing, execute another. Yeah, I can tell you that I ran out of money and wasn't able to put it in.
That's
or
my
my factors
but I changed
fell
my
out.
mind.
Exactly. So you can, and the answer to that, economic development answer to that is that you put clawbacks in that. So yes, we accept your bid on the pretense that you will put in a Waffle House. And if your Waffle House doesn't come through, then that property comes back to us and you relinquish that or something. And those are usually done through Chapter 380 agreements. So that's more of a economic development driver deal versus a bid, but we can make it work.
We'd have to do that now, though. You have to.
I would say, honestly, I wouldn't make it so difficult. If you want it to be developed commercially, then we should go through the process of rezoning that property commercially, which makes the person who buys it to develop commercially. And then don't necessarily worry about what that commercial business is so much.
We had any interest at it at all from anybody?
No one's known that we
Or
had
it's
it.
not, so we had it.
No one knew that we had it. No. So, and even that appraisal district didn't. So on the books, on the tax website, looks like TxDOT owned it this entire time. Like nothing, no one had been told that it was city property. So this is the first announcement that we own this property and asking you guys if you want to put it up for bid.
Money, what's fair market value, you think of that?
I think, I mean, land out the country, I don't know, depending on who you ask is, which is more valuable. That's who you talk to. I looked at some of those days, 3,000 an acre. Out in the country. I'd say this would be worth 2,500 to 3,000.
Oh, well, I was shooting for 2,000, at least 2,000, you know. Good. Bid minimum of 2,000, if we don't get no bites on it. Lower the price next month.
But basically, you can go on the market, whatever they bid, just, you want to put the minimum, put a minimum.
Well, would that hurt us though, or we should just lay it out there, so.
I'd say just lay it out there, but
Then we have, the clause in there, we have the right to refuse all bids.
yeah, correct.
Yes.
Exactly. I don't really think it matters that much either way.
We want to get our feet wet there, see what Maine does, and we can.
Yeah. To me, there's one full lot there, it's 50 by 100. The rest of it is some frontage, but I'm just trying to judge over here, and I bet it's 50, 110 or so, 120 by 50, maybe. Not even 50, well, maybe. Yeah. So is that enough to do something commercially with that's, I don't know, bake shop or something?
What's on the backside of the car stop?
You put a Starbucks drive-through in there.
Starbucks, yeah, that's gonna happen.
What's in lot 5?
No boards.
Lot 5, it's empty lot that's owned by Cheryl Johnson, which is, she is a resident at the nursing home. And lot 4 is also grass. And the portion of land behind, and lot 3 behind that is also in grass. And then portions of lot 3 into lot 2 have been developed into RV hookups without a permit, but they're not being used right now. So, but there is a set of 6 RV hookups in those lots, and then there's a residence in lot 1.
See, so take somebody can back and buy lot 5, lot 4, and that would be.
And
Next
that's
spot.
city block there, just like 3/4 of the city block. What's in lot 1 over, you know? Residence.
Is that the rock
With
house?
the garage that's underneath it. You know what I'm talking about? That's where that rock house is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think he does. He's been working on it, improving it.
It's in a residential lot, like the whole spot is owned residentially right now. So all the development in there. Now on the backside of all of that, lot 7 has a residence, lot 8 is empty. It has a foundation. Lot 10 is empty. Lot 11 is empty, I believe. And then lot 12 has a house that faces that Clay Street. I think it's Clay. It faces Clay. It's right next to the rock house. I'm sorry.
Somebody lives on.
Yes.
We have a motion somebody like to make on this?
Mayor, I make a motion, we, go up for bids on the sale of the property located at the corner of East Lincoln and Main Street.
Okay, we have a motion by, wait, first, any discussion?
No bid.
No discussion from the public? Okay, there's a motion. Councilman Wynn, if I get this right, to, take bids on the property.
I second it.
Got a second from Council Lady. Gillespie. All in favor, say aye. Aye. It passes 4-0. Okay, moving right along. Discuss, consider, and take action to accept a bid for a used excavator. It's not escalator, it's an excavator.
No, you say, oh, again. Yeah, I just want to make sure the council knows before they make their decision then. So I gave you a spreadsheet at your desk. And it's just a summary of all the money that's been spent, how much. Not all of it's been paid out, but then again, it does show you how much is obligated. So currently, right now, at the very best of our estimate, we have $82,000 left. Now, if we receive our payment from that, which is obligated and paid out by the water, we'll still have additional $100,000. But they refuse to with the contract, they don't pay. I know you have 82,000, so you still have enough money to make that purchase. This is something that's been requested by the water department, as well as the street department. And so I did get a lot of calls, but ended up on the 3 different bids. Overall, the best bid is from a Gunner tractor, for the 2020 body 35 for 35,000. As you see 2 buckets, the street department wanted a specific bucket, as well as the street department wanted water department wanted a specific bucket to meet their needs. So the total cost of both buckets plus the excavator is $38,800. We do have a trailer, it's already been redone. We have to move the excavator from location to location as well, so that's the recommendation.
Chase, have you looked at this excavator?
Yes, sir.
Is that one from Gumby's, does it not come with a book?
Got one on it. Okay. I think it's got an 18-inch fatigue, but it straights need smooth bucket to, to rake out our holes and put asphalt.
Is your mic on, Jake? Make sure it's pushed up. Yeah, it's on.
Yep.
Thank you. He's tall.
Yeah, but we needed one for, digging around water lines. We don't want to hit something, you can put on that bucket. The streets needed one too. That was a little bigger for that, for breaking out existing holes, or and a bigger one for like ditches and stuff like that, not grabbing what they don't want to grab. We went and checked it out with Brandon, smooth.
It had rubber tracks on it, right? It had rubber tracks.
Yes, yeah. Which will probably need to replace at some point. It's been used, but looks like it was used well. Pretty nice. Good motor.
And when you have a Komodo dealership within a reasonable range,
Yeah, it's 40 miles, single highway.
they'll be able to get it
Yeah, check that.
checked out as long as they keep it properly maintained. It lasts a long time.
What do you think, Lynn? Does it look reasonable, face value? There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was new, it would have twice as price.
Yeah. I would have liked new as well. But I don't want to drop, $70,000-$80,000 on mini X. We may not use that much. I don't know.
This will work for you, Jay. I mean, this,
Yeah, it's just real small and no tail swing, we're working in alleys and stuff like that. It's got really good reach, and you can reach, we already checked it, reach in the back of a dump truck on the streets. It's something we've needed, we just, get by, sometimes in the alley of that backhoe, you can't put your outriggers down. So it should help.
Jeff, we got this in the budget or?
Well, it's the ARPA money. That's why they got the spreadsheet, so y'all would know exactly how much money y'all have left in there.
Okay.
And they would eventually like to get a jackhammer to put on it, but that was a little pricey right now. But we're gonna continue to look, and see if we can't, find that along. But that'll allow them to, do some jobs that they've not been able to do in the past. They just, they can just pound it. It just
Street breaker, pretty much. It's like, we got a quote for like 13,000, like another 2,000 for attachments, couplers or whatever, but I've already looked online and found one for 4,000. It's just a, off brand, but there's just a few places in town we'd like to use it. Right in front of the Baptist church, there's like 2.5, 3 foot of concrete above some of our water lines, so we can't get through to it if there isn't major leak.
What do you use now? I mean, when you run into a situation, what do you just brute force or?
Yeah, more wear and tear on the backhoe than we'd like to. We're having to borrow equipment. We don't like doing that either, but we will if we can, if we have to. But right now, we're not in the process of getting a concrete director right now. We're just still looking.
Is that an attachment you can rent though too, though, maybe?
Yeah.
They're pretty high.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I looked into it because we had a leak above like a 6 foot slab of concrete. Somebody put on top of a 6-inch water line. I don't know why. He said it wouldn't be him, but
You said, "Oh, look."
but yeah. And there's rentals out there. You can rent a generator and rent a jackhammer. It's really not that expensive.
But just
$300 a day or so.
take the time going over.
Yeah.
Renting it, coming back that time, you already had it busted out probably. And
And we got water line laid in rock, on McLean. I'm sure y'all seen that before. So there's multiple uses, not just for us, streets.
we think money.
I wore out all those trucks.
They probably need to be replaced in a couple of years. They didn't look so hot. Probably been eroded quite often, but I was talking to Lane Studer and he said, he bought some tracks, online. I don't know if we're able to do that, like how he was able to for his company, but they weren't but $2,500 compared to, 6,000 or 7,000.
Well, I think about a year ago, we replaced the tracks on that skid steer and it was right at about 4,000.
Yeah, I think just shopping around.
How many hours is on that?
1,400. 700 a year.
Would you consider that medium use or
I'd say high use. They use it.
it's a 2020, right?
Yeah.
My skid steers, when I bought it, it was a 13 model. It had 29 model. 2,600 hours on it. It was a 13 model, but I've had it. Bought it, 19, maybe. So it's 6 years with 2,600 on it. 2 years with 15.
14, yeah.
20, maybe 3 years old, just about. Going on 3 years old. Yeah.
It's not just super high.
Yeah, it's medium to high.
Yeah,
It's in that
medium.
But like us, we would use every day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, our backhoes,
I mean, it might,
it's 19 or 29. I can't remember what that is.
That's a good point.
Tobacco hours.
It's not a
Tobacco,
daily thing.
29 or 19. 29.
I mean,
It's got 2,900 hours in there. 08 backhoe. Yeah. So we don't really use that very often, obviously. Only out used. That might have been with the Kubota. Who knows? That's used equipment for you.
just gotta remember the cheapest thing you do to one's maintenance.
Bingo.
That is the cheapest.
grease and all. It's,
All right. Well, does someone want to make a motion on this to,
And I'll make a motion that we purchase the 2020 Kubota tractor.
we have a motion by Councilman Glass, seconded by Councilman Wynn. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
And for, and all against, same thing. 4-0 to approve this. Okay, 23, we're getting close. Discuss, consider, and take action to accept bids from for the sale of the Wisconsin V4 HD motor and transmission, and Dr. Brazier found this like an archaeological dig. He came up with this, and I don't even know what it goes in, but
Yeah, in your packet, we sent you pictures. It's been back there in the old rock building, and this gentleman here in the community wanted to buy it, and I told him I would put it on the agenda and ask the council if they wanted to sell it or not. I do not believe it belongs to the fire department. I have talked to Chief Hans. He said the fire department's been red. But I did go and have Darren Hayes look at it, and he said he looked like he'd come off some from the street department, off the type of distributor or something like that. Didn't know for sure, but anyway,
like a 1960s, 70s.
they've been making those back in the like 60s or something like that. So, but anyway, I told him I'd ask y'all do what you want.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Go out for bids for it, and then we'll go commission. And I could go ahead and sell it, and show me to bring it back to you after the bids. But I heard it's not worth a lot. But you know,
Well, I'll make a motion, put out the bids.
Sell it.
Second.
All right, we have a motion.
y'all give me permission to sell it, or y'all want to come back and you make that decision?
Okay, hang on. Any public comment?
I'll make a motion.
Chase or Robert want to comment on this at all? Public, okay, got a motion from,
I need to make my motion.
okay, yes, sir.
Make a motion that we sell this, and Jeff will have the full authority of whatever he sells it at.
Second. Okay, second, a motion by, you get that, Laura? Okay, Councilman by Billy, motion made by Billy Henry, seconded by Councilman Glass. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
We're going for bids and Dr. Brazier is allowed to accept the bid. Thank you.
No. It's at least $1,000. Yeah, move, come get it.
He's got to get it within a reasonable time.
There you go. There you go. Is there anything else in that building we need to? Yeah, what I was wondering.
I assume that was for the a pump for the fire department. But the one thing else I would like to sell is all these lamp posts in there. But I've told I got to send letters out to every single person that donated those and allow them to pick it up. And honestly, that's just not been high on my radar for the last several years. But I did want to get the rest of that cleaned up. It's a go I have. But
The lamp post is like down.
They were the first edition of the lamp posts. I think they're smaller, I think, than what's up there now, if I remember.
We get those cleaned up, and it'll really be looking nice in there. So.
All right, let's move on to 24. I guess we can put this off. Not really. Let's execute the oath of office for the placement of Lauren Bush as City of Seymour City Secretary. City of Seymour. Okay. Okay, this is very, very good deal. Oath of office in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas. Repeat after me. I, Lauren Bush, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of City Secretary
Execute the duties of all city secretary.
in the state of Texas and will to the best of my ability
Will to the best of my ability.
preserve, protect, and defend
And defend.
the Constitution and laws of the United States
The Constitution and laws of the United States.
and of this state. So help me God.
And of this
It's glad that they all went to listening on. Act like that. This is it. I do.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I make a motion with John.
I'll say last. Just 9, it seems like it's like 11, 9:37. All right, very good.
Feed off.
I'll be, I'm on the way. United and Woodstock. Yes.